Hey, what up everybody, I'm Cynical, and this is Dark Souls Remastered on PS4. And I'm standing a mile away from my PS4 because it's being super loud. So this is going to be awkward, because my screen is pretty small, but we are in the Dark Root Basin. We had just picked up the Grass Crest Shield, and we got the Fap Ring last time, pretty sure, and killed the gargoyles, if I'm remembering correctly. Also the Havel's Ring, I forgot to put that in the title, but we got the Havel's Ring as well. But what I'm doing right here is just getting the heck out of the basin. I'm done in here. I just wanted to grab the Grass Crest Shield and the Havel's Ring and get the bonfire, and then I'm getting the heck out of here. So just sprinting up the side of the mountain, ready to get out. And plans for this video here, number one, I'm going to do some power leveling. So if you want to see how to do some power leveling, that's way better than the Hellkite Drake power level that I showed you, where you can get like 5 quick, easy, low levels. This one is really good, especially if you have the Silver Serpent Ring on and a good hour or two to power level. It's one that's worth doing for a good hour or two. I'm not going to do it for that long. I think I do it for 15 to 20 minutes, maybe less. But you'll get the gist of it in that amount of time. And if it's getting too boring, I might even fast forward the video footage while we talk over it. But I don't know. We'll see. But take a right out of that little cave and come out here. We're going to head towards the door where you put the Crest of Artorias in. And I got that earlier just based off of my hard souls and just what I had at the time. I didn't really even have to save up very much. I just happened to have 20,000 souls. So if you don't level up every single time that you get enough souls to level up, then you'll have souls for stuff like that. If you don't use your hard souls, you could use them all and get the Crest of Artorias. Which, behind the Crest of Artorias door is the part where you can power level. And I think you can get the Flippy Ninja Ring, and you can fight Sif. The Moonlight Butterfly is the other way. You don't really need the crest for that. But you can open up like a shortcut to like the Hydra. So, Crest of Artorias. I'm kind of... Okay, so plans for this video. Right here I'm just turning up the voice for the NPCs, because I noticed in my last few videos, the first couple videos, you couldn't even hear what they were saying. So now we should be able to. I turned them up all the way to 10 from 5, so I'm hoping we can hear them in this video. But watch out for these guys that are underground, these plant guys. They'll pop up and try to grab you. And there's an item here behind this rock, so don't miss that. But goal for this video is power level. Show you the way to power level by going through the Crest of Artorias door. And then after that, we're going for our weapon. The weapon we're going to be using in this whole playthrough. Shout out to Trapped. I was asking people like what weapon we should use, and I know Dark Souls doesn't get as many views as like Gems of War, so there's only a couple of you in the comments. And we were discussing what weapon that I should use for this playthrough, because that's usually what I do. I use one weapon for the whole thing, so we can have sort of a theme. Even though this is the first playthrough, that's the theme. But also to use a certain weapon, that way we can kind of say, this is the playthrough where we use this is the playthrough where we use that. Stupid voice. So this one's going to be the Great Scythe playthrough, or the some sort of Scythe playthrough. I'm going to go after the Great Scythe. So we're going to be going to the Catacombs. So power leveling, the best way you can power level in this game. And then the Catacombs way too early without a divine weapon. So this should be an interesting video. You're not supposed to go there. That's what noobs do. And they get destroyed by the skeletons because they reanimate. You have to use the divine weapon. There's a couple places in this game where if you don't have the correct weapon, you get destroyed. Like the Catacombs, it's a divine weapon. New Londo, you have to have a, what is it you have to have? You have to be cursed. So if you head down to New Londo, without being cursed or a cursed weapon, you can't even hit the enemies and they just destroy you. You can't make it through there. If you go to the Catacombs without a divine weapon, you can make it a little bit in, and then everything starts reanimating, you get surrounded, and eventually you die because you don't have a divine weapon, which puts down the skeletons for good. If you don't have a divine weapon, you're going to be chopping them down, and they're just going to reanimate behind you while you're thinking about progressing. And you have to deal with the necromancers instead, which is a little bit harder, because some of them are hard to get to. Like the first couple, pretty easy to get to. You can make it into like the bonfire. That's after that though. Some of them are hiding on a different level in a secret area, and then it gets more difficult because you get a group of skeletons you can't put down for good, and you can't find the necromancer or pyromancer or whatever the heck they're called. I call them necromancers because that's what a necromancer does, but they might be called pyromancers. I'm not sure. I think necromancer, right? Anyway, this is how you power level. You got to do a little cheesy cheese, and somebody may put a cheese emoji in the comments like they did last time. Just fine with me. This is my first playthrough on the channel. I'm just trying to beat the game. I'm gonna cheese it if I want to, and then in subsequent playthroughs maybe we will do no cheese, no poison arrows, no drake sword, none of this right here, none of this power leveling, none of the Hellkite power leveling. I've done SL1 runs, so if you're a person putting cheese emojis in the freaking comments, I've done SL1 playthroughs, so that's not cheese, is it? And I've done no death runs. That's not cheese, right? I mean, I could cheese in the process of doing those things, but that just shows I have some skill. If I can beat 4 kings on SL1, if I can beat Ornstein the Smo on level 1, okay. Yeah, I'm cheese. I'm a cheeser. But this is how you do it. It's so easy. I mean, it's not easy because if you get caught, you're gonna get one shot if you're not high enough level. But I've been putting all my stats into vitality and endurance. That's what you should do at the very beginning of the game, unless you're like 100% on the weapon you're going to use and you want to start scaling, or if you want to be a magic user. If you're just going for like what I'm going for, which is I'm going to use a certain weapon, but not until like probably next video. Until that point, go ahead and just level up vitality and endurance, because that'll help you the most until you find your weapon. But all these forest ghosts, you gather them up, you pull a train. If you've ever played an MMO, you get a train, you run it to the zone. And in this case, the zone is the cliff edge, and their pathing is to run up the stairs and fall down on top of you, and there's not enough room for you and them, so they fall right in, right off the cliff. And they give you at least 2,000 souls per guy. And I swear it used to be more than this. Like one of them used to give like 7,000, so I think they nerfed it. The more I think about it, the more it looks nerfed, because they're only giving me 2,000 each. And they used to give, some of them used to give like 7,000, 5,000, 3,000, but they're all giving me 2,000. When I was playing it, I was kind of noticing it wasn't as much as usual, and now that I'm watching it back, it looks like they definitely nerfed it. But with the silver ring, you can get a little bit more, at least 200, 2100 or whatever it is, 2200. So this may not be the power level I was looking for. Like, it may not be something you can do much further than I did it. But it's good for right now. Like, if you can get in here like as soon as possible and do this. Like, I know these guys were worth different values, at the very least. I'm not sure if one of them was worth 7,000 or 6,000 or 5,000. Like, it might have been 3,000 and 4,000. But I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, that they were at least worth different amounts. And from what I'm seeing, they're all 2,000. So let's watch. I think I can get closer to the PS4 now. It's calmed down a little bit. Let's watch here. 2,000. 2,000. This guy doesn't want to go in the hole. He wants to kill me. And he can backstab you, so watch out. This guy is not to be played with. He's probably the hardest. And he's usually completely ghosted, you know? I don't think you can see him. So this is things that they changed and remastered, it looks like. They definitely changed how much souls you get for them. And that guy used to be like completely invisible, if I remember correctly. You couldn't even tell when until you got the souls. So I don't like that change. So that's the first thing in this game that that they changed that I don't like. And they changed the cheese thing, so I'm fine with it. But they made it I guess they made it harder, so I can't complain. They made it so you can't do this anymore. As, you know, it's not worth as much. It used to be worth a lot more. Like the assassin guy was worth like 5,000. And the sorcerer guy was worth like 4. And the bandit guy was worth like 3. And there was a warrior guy like right there, and he's gone now. He's not even there. So they definitely changed the forest. Definitely. This used to be way more valuable to do. It's still worth it though. You're getting 2,000 per kill. That's as much as the big mini boss we just killed and right before this area in the last video. So it's still, I think it's still worth it to do it a little bit, maybe to like level 30, maybe even 40 if you got the time and you really want some levels for whatever reason. But after that, I don't know, because you used to get way more. You used to get like, can't remember, like 17,000 per train. And now it looks like you get around 10 if you're lucky. Which eventually it's gonna be like 10,000 is gonna be how much it costs for one level eventually. Right now it's already costing like 3,000. So not even one of these guys will level us up. We have to do at least 2 of them. And one level's really not worth doing. You want to do at least a couple. But yeah. Just noticed that they changed this. I was wondering why it wasn't going as fast. I thought maybe it was the silver serpent ring. But looks like they just changed how much souls you get for these guys. That sucks. And then they made the assassin visible. And they're all more visible, really. They used to be like ghosts. I mean, they're kind of translucent, but they're not as much as they used to be. Like that assassin used to be completely, you could not see him. And he would backstab you. So I don't know how many more times I do it, but if I do it too many more times, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward so you guys don't have to watch this. But this is how you do it. You round them all up, you figure out where they are, you get your little track down, your little pathing down, and then and they all follow you, and then you run around on the cliff edge, and they run up on the stairs, and then they drop down. There's not enough room for the both of you, and they fall over. And if they somehow land next to you, just put your shield up, and usually they'll try to hit you, and they'll knock back off your shield and fall in. And if they don't do that, then you're gonna have to kick them in, which is just up and attack like at the same time. R1. And you might have to not sprint the whole time. You might have to like jog to like keep them on you. You don't want to sprint and get too far away from them, and then they'll tether back. So if you can just jog and then sprint at the end, like maybe sprint at the beginning as soon as they notice you, gather them up and start jogging once you have all of them on you, and then sprint at the end to get to your spot. Like that's how I used to do it. Like I'm sprinting now, they all notice me. Now I'm jogging to make sure they stay on me, like jogging a little bit, make sure my stamina's up. Then I'll sprint at the end to make sure they don't like follow me along the cliff edge. And then I'll try to fake them out by like going up the stairs a little bit, so they go up the stairs. See, that guy landed with me. Gonna just block his attacks until he falls in, or kick him if I can. Right there, I just had to block. Some of them lose interest and they walk away. As you can see, that bandit, it's because he starts from so far away that he really has to be on your butt to stay with you. So you can either just fight them at this point, but they hit pretty hard, or you can run them off the edge after you get their attention again. But I was just going for level 30 here, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to fast forward it because I just I kicked him. That's nice. Because this is it. I'm done. So no more of that. I probably won't even come back and do it anymore. That's probably all I'll do it. But I just like to show you places you can power level. Like, this game doesn't have to be as hard as you make it out to be. A little bit of power leveling at the Hellkite Bridge. A little bit of power leveling here. That's 10 levels ahead that you could be. Put our armor back on. I only took it off to be a little bit faster. Even with the Havel's ring, I was probably just the same speed. But I just wanted to make sure I was fast. And now we're going to go after our weapon for the whole playthrough. And it's going to be dangerous because we have to go to the Catacombs. And you should not do this. This is just for special for this run. And I don't even know what I'm going to do after I get it. Like, I could either go and fight the boss, try to, but it's going to be so dangerous without a divine weapon. Because usually the path is you would go fight the Moonlight Butterfly, which is what I should have done just right here. Like, instead of heading straight to the Catacombs, I should have ducked in and killed the Moonlight Butterfly right now. As you see me right now. Like, I should have turned around and went back. Went in that other hallway that isn't where the Crest of Artorias door is. And went and killed the Moonlight Butterfly and then got my weapon on the next video. But instead I raced straight to it so we can get it as soon as possible. Then we'll come back and do the Moonlight Butterfly. And maybe even Sith. But I don't know. What order? What's the real order? Like, I think you're supposed to do... I don't know. I've always been confused about when you should do the Moonlight Butterfly and Sif, because it's like it's like off to the side, and you need Sif for New Londo, but New Londo is not till after Anor Londo, and you need the Moonlight Butterfly for the Catacombs, but you can't go further into the Catacombs until after Anor Londo. So maybe after Anor Londo is when you're supposed to do Moonlight Butterfly and Sif. So that would mean you would do, I guess, Lower Undid Berg next, and then whatever that place is called after that with the Gaping Dragon, I forget, and then Blighttown, and then you could go to Sen's Fortress, and then Anor Londo, then the Moonlight Butterfly, then Sif, then the Catacombs, then Nito, and then New Londo.
Sen's Fortress and the Dark Root Garden. They attract all sorts of lunatics. No one as cultured as yourself. It's fine to be undead, but keep a level head, eh?
So hopefully it sounds better now. I know it was kind of low before.
Fortress is an old proving grounds built by the ancient gods. It is the only route leading to the great Anor Londo. Of course, most fools can't even find their way into that fortified death trap, but they won't stop trying. Take that bumbling Saranyan. I know little of the Darkroot Garden, although I've heard rumors of a divine blacksmith who resides there. Those who get stumped in the catacombs seek him for divine weapons.
So that's your clue.
I know little of the Darkroot Garden, although I've heard
There's your clue for the catacombs.
Get yourself neither of.
And then he also talks about Sin's Fortress. I was going to say, why is he already talking about Sin's Fortress? You don't even go there for a little while. I mean, it's sooner than later, but it's not very soon. But it's because of proximity. He's close to Sin's Fortress and Darkroot Garden, so that's what he talks about. So he gives you the clue there. So if you went in the catacombs and got wrecked by reanimating skeletons and you don't know what the heck's going on, that's where you try to go this way, you talk to him, then he tells you how to do it. You gotta beat the Moonlight Butterfly, go pick up the Divine Ember, give it to him, and then make a weapon divine, and then go to the catacombs. Also, there's this place here, going back to the very beginning of the game to fight another Asylum Demon. Like, when are you supposed to do that, too? Like, shouldn't you do that before you go to Blighttown? Because the Iron Ring would be good there. You can, instead of, like, being really slow in the poison, you could wear the ring and just be, you know, it helps out a lot. The Rusty Iron Ring, or whatever it's called.
Oh, hello.
This guy still don't have anything to say.
Yes, I know.
He does eventually, though, and I think I might trigger
May
it
be difficult.
in this video.
Come again. The effect.
The good thing about this, whether I decide to go further into the catacombs and get the Rite of Kindling and fight the boss, or not, and I just go in and get my weapon and come back out.
Have you been to the ruins of New Londo below? Just head down the stairs and take the lift. It's certainly worth a visit. It was once an undead city. You may find a clue or two, unless the ghosts find you first.
I love New Londo. That's probably my favorite place.
You again? There's nothing to speak about, really. Oh, actually, something strange did happen. That crow flew off with somebody in its clutches. I think it was a man curled up in a ball. Stranger things have happened, right? No, maybe not.
There's so many places we could go right now. It's crazy.
What now? I'm not up.
We could go to back to the asylum. He was just telling you about that. We could go to the catacombs. We could go to Lower Undead Burg. We could go to Blighttown right now if we wanted to. We could go to Darkroot Garden, fight the Moonlight Butterfly, Sif. There's so many places you can go right now, it's crazy. Gaping Dragon. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and make myself human, because you never know when you're gonna hit a summon sign, or you don't want to ruin a quest by not being human and not seeing a summon sign. So before you fight a boss, you should make yourself human. Unless you're playing online, which I am not, by the way, because I can't. Or else I probably would, because it's really fun. Here's some snoring. Who's that? Who's that? Forget his name. I suck. It's the big snake guy that at the end of the game. Well, more towards the end of the game than not. I'll remember his name, hopefully. Let me think. Dang, I can't remember. But yeah, we're gonna go to the catacombs without a divine weapon. Not very smart. But I want this weapon because I want it as soon as possible. I just got parried. Wow. Luckily, I have a ton of health and endurance right now because we did some power leveling with the Hellkite Drake and in the forest. So, you can do that too if you have trouble with this game. A lot of people call this game hard. And I thought that would die down a little bit as time went by, but it's still prevalent. Like, people still call this game hard, which makes me happy, because that's why I like it. Kinda. It's like one of the reasons. And so these are ways you could make it a little bit easier for yourself. Do the Hellkite Drake power leveling, get the Drake sword, do the forest power leveling, and do it and put your points in vitality and endurance to begin in the beginning of the game. Like, I'll probably stop now. Like, the next time I level, I'm probably done with that for a while. I'm gonna start leveling up my weapon, because I'm gonna get my weapon in this playthrough, I hope, or in this video, I hope, that we're gonna use for the whole time. And I'm not sure, I might switch it up and like use different versions of the different scythes, because that's what we're trying to get, is the great scythe. And I'm gonna try to make myself look like a reaper with a flaming scythe. Like, that's my goal. It's gonna take like half the playthrough to get to that point, but it's gonna be cool. So a pyromancer with the scythe that's on fire with a black robe, and hopefully like a skeleton face. We'll see though, because I can't remember how to get all that stuff. I know how to get the pyromancy and I know how to get the robe. The mask is, I think you have to do like Covenant down in New Londo, maybe? I can't remember. The Grave Covenant, or no, the Dark Wraith. I can't remember, but I'm gonna have to look it up, to be honest. But I want that. I want the black robe, the skeleton mask from the Dark Wraiths, a scythe on fire, so a pyromancer that uses the great scythe, with the black robe and a skeleton mask. That's what I'm trying for in this playthrough, as soon as possible. Like, as soon as we can look like that and do all that. So what we have to do is ring the second bell, because that's where the robe is. We have to free the pyromancer and lower Undead Bird, because that's where he is. Then we have to get the pyromancy that flames up your weapon, but we could probably use charcoal pine resin. I don't remember where we can get that, but I think it's one of the vendors, so that would be fine. We don't have to do the pyromancy thing, but that would be cool to like be able to do it on our own weapon. And I want pyromancy as our magic. So pyromancy, great scythe, black robe, skeleton face. So we'll be blowing fire and swinging a scythe and have a skeleton face with a black robe. I think it's gonna be cool. So I killed that pyromancer. I think that's what they are, because they shoot fire, even though I think they should be called necromancers. Just killed the pyromancer, which every skeleton nearby will now not reanimate. Pull this switch, light that bonfire. Now we can get into the catacombs. And a good thing about going to the catacombs this early is you get to see patches in the catacombs. Otherwise you don't get to. If you go too late, you don't get to. Which I almost always go too late, because you're supposed to. Like, you're supposed to go after you get a divine weapon. So you're supposed to go after you do the Moonlight Butterfly fight. Plus, if you go into the catacombs right now, you can't even go to the next, you can't go into the next part of it. There's a fog wall, so there's like no point. You might as well do the catacombs when you can do the whole thing, like go all the way deep in past the fog wall and all that. Go fight Gravelord Nito and the other boss. So, woo, it's hard with the full house right now. I had to stop recording because we had some noise. I forget what I was saying. But yeah, if you go to the catacombs now, you don't have a divine weapon, and you can't go all the way to why can't I remember anything? The Kings, the something of the Kings, what's where Gravelord Nito is? That place. You can't go there, so what's the point of getting all the way through the catacombs, fighting Pinwheel? I mean, it's because you get the Rite of Kindling, which is good. That means you can kindle bonfires more in more spots, which is good for like the whole game, but I'd rather be able to like teleport and get Anor Londo done, and then be able to go to like the whole way through the catacombs and everything, all the way to Nito. It just seems kind of counterproductive to go down, beat Pinwheel, go leave and then come back later. You have to go through again. It doesn't make sense to me, so I always do it the other way. Once Anor Londo's done and all the fog gates are open, that's when I go down there. But by that time, you just destroy the catacombs, because usually your weapon is like some sort of weapon that can put them down, and even if it's not, like they just tickle you and you go destroy the pyromancers. It's easy. Pinwheel's easy no matter what, unless you go down there at like SL1 and he like hits you with a ton of magic and stun locks you with magic. That's the only... I don't think I've ever died to him except for maybe like once, and it was hilarious. The Rite of Kindling is... It's worth it to go in here to talk to Patches, get a weapon if you want it, and get the Rite of Kindling. But check this out. Here's the next pyromancer. He's way over there. You're supposed to like walk a little bit further ahead, and then he'll like run away, and then you can't put down the skeletons for good. But if you shoot him right in the face with the bow and arrow, he gets like stun locked and he can't run away, and you can kill him like this, which is pretty awesome, because now I can put down like the next set of skeletons without them reanimating, which is really annoying. And this is very helpful, and I don't care how long it takes, I just got it done. So now like the next 10 to 15 skeletons are gonna be put down for good. That guy's an idiot. Just rolled off the edge. And there's a spot where you can drop down like right here and just go all the way to the end of the level as well. I'm gonna sit in my normal spot. Sorry if you hear some background noise, so I can see the screen better. But yeah, these guys get put down for good. I think the way you can tell is their eyeballs. Like they change if they're able to be put down for good. It's different, and if they aren't, then it's a different. Like they glow white or something, or they're black. I don't know. I can't remember. We'll see in a second. We'll check it out, because we're gonna have some skeletons we can't put down in a little bit, and it gets really dicey as we go for the Great Scythe, which I could have got way earlier than I did. Like I made it more trouble than it really is. And this guy with the bow and arrow, man, I remembered he was there. I thought I was slick remembering it was there, and then this guy did a rolling attack on me, which they both kind of attack you at the same time if you stop there. So you either want to like keep going or stop short. You don't want to like stop right there where I did. That was stupid. I got nailed. But there's the pyromancer's body, which so these guys, interruptions, 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 interruptions. That's what I get for trying to do a video every day in the middle of the day with people in the house, all over the house. Nobody respects my work. So yeah, these guys get put down for good. Just watch out for that skeleton archer there. And the only reason they're getting put down for good is because I took out that pyromancer with the bow and arrow. Like that's the only reason. Otherwise, they would be reanimating right now, and it gets really hard, like right here, if you did not do that. If you did do it, then it's a little bit easier. But I can't remember how many pyromancers there are. There's probably, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4, and I think there's 5 or 6. So watch out for this little side area. The couple skeletons will jump out and attack you, so don't accidentally walk by it and think it's all good, because they will jump out of the cut and pack you out. And that's their parry stance, so don't go swinging wild at them like right there. That's their parry stance. So you want to kick and then smash them. I came in here for this item, the lucerne, which would have been a good thing to use for this playthrough. I've never used that before. It's kind of like a scythe, but it's more like a hammer with like a point on it. So a really long weapon, like a what's the thing we got earlier, the halberd, but it's more like a pointy like hammer slash axe, like probably a point, like a hammer, like I don't know. It's a hammer with a point on it, basically, like a really long one. So that'd have been really cool to use, but I already have my heart set on a design that we're gonna do, so we're gonna do it. And it's the whole reason we're here. Like, I wish I could turn around right now and go use the lucerne, because it only gets harder and harder from here. Luckily, these guys are still under the effect of the pyromancer we shot with the bow and arrow, so they stay down. But check out my Estus. I'm already down to 1 with half health. So I'm trying to make some sort of progress before we have to bone back or whatever. And we made some progress already. We killed the pyromancer, and they stay dead, by the way. If you kill them, they stay dead. So if you want to run in, do some death runs, and just kill the pyromancers, that's another way to do it instead of getting a divine weapon. But you're going to die a lot. You might lose some souls, and it's hard to find a couple of them. But that's a good way to do it. You just do some death runs, running in, killing the pyromancers because they stay dead. And I forget what's back in there. I think you drop down from somewhere later on, and you land there. Because otherwise, why would that be there? Just a dead end. Large soul of a nameless soldier. Good hard souls for later on if we want to do something. You see the bridge has spikes on it, so you can't cross. That means you have to flip a lever. We're going to get this pyromancer the same way we got the second one. Shooting him in the face with arrows and staggering him over and over. And I missed right there, but I got lucky. He just lit up his lantern instead of running away. I'm lucky that he did that because I missed. I think I hit the skeleton instead of him, which wasn't my fault. The skeleton walked in front of him. But there we go. Well, nope, there we go. There we go. So that's good. Third pyromancer down. Let's get rid of these skeletons now. Shoot them in the eyeball socket as they jump off. Right here, you want to watch out. The statues have spike traps, and these guys would explode. I was trying to shoot them and see if I could make them explode. Didn't happen, so you want to run. Just run by them. You don't want to stand there and lollygag, because they will blow up and knock you. It's not just the explosion that's dangerous. It's the knockback. So they can knock you down into the hole, and you are dead. So you watch out, or they can knock you into the spike trap, and then you'll get stun locked by a skeleton, and just, it's not good. And I forgot about the spike traps, to be honest. But luckily it didn't kill me, but it's taken away that precious health with no Estus flask. Like I was saying, we've killed 3 pyromancers, and we're hitting this switch to flip that bridge that we just saw. So we made enough progress now that I'm happy with boning away. And there's Patches back of his bald cue ball head. That's another reason to come down here in the Catacombs. You get to talk to Patches. He has an event down here you can do where he will kill you, knock you off a bridge. I forget how to prevent it or how to get it, so it might happen to us. If you run across the wrong bridge after like saying the wrong thing or pushing the wrong switch, he will push the switch and turn it over on you while you're on it and kill you. Luckily it's not this bridge. We just hit the switch for that bridge, so he's not standing at that switch, but he is standing at a switch for a bridge later in the level, so you gotta watch out. So we're at half health, no Estus flasks. Don't know what I was thinking. I just accomplished killing 3 pyromancers and hitting a switch. I should just bone out. I don't think we make any more progress here. So we're getting to the point where the skeletons reanimate, and I don't get it because we just killed one right here, and he got me there. That sucks. If he didn't get me there, we still would have had half health. Could have done a little bit more. I was just seeing how much I could get done before I boned out. And I'm trying to fight this guy in a spot where I don't have the danger of falling off. So we took him out to the bridge, we got danger of falling off. If we fight him on that spiral down walkway, we got danger of falling, if not off, then down to where more skeletons are. So I can't remember if that one reanimates or not. I think you can tell by if you get souls or not. So that's the ultimate way to tell. And I'm an idiot. Watch that. There's lost health. I'm almost dead. And I'm still poking around down here. I don't... Luckily, I bone out. Smart man. And that almost could have made it so we didn't die in this video, but... You'll have to see. Do we die? It's getting pretty tough down there. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Stay tuned to find out. And like I always say, if you're still listening right now on a Dark Souls video, I really appreciate you. I wish you would comment so I could thank you. But thank you anyway. Because I know these are a quarter as popular as my Gems of War, but I do it for me. I do it for me because this is my favorite game. So you gotta sometimes do stuff for yourself. I love Gems of War, but Dark Souls is my favorite game. Bloodborne's my other favorite game. And then Dark Souls 2, I speedrun. I like a lot. I'm pretty good at. Dark Souls 3 is just within that series. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's one of my favorite games, like top 20 probably. So that's why I'm just putting all those games on my channel, playthroughs of them. And I know it's like a detriment to the channel, like a hindrance, but I still like to do it. And we started with Dark Souls, so there might be a couple of you out there from the very beginning where we did Dark Souls 2, every boss, live streamed it. If any of you are still out there, please comment. I remember Crimson and a few other people that used to be around a lot back then, just live streaming Dark Souls 2 for like 5 hours at a time. We used to get happy when we had like 10 viewers. I think we used to have like we got 25 at one point, and I was like going nuts about it. But I have to make the run back. This time I sat at the bonfire. Last time I didn't. I was an idiot. But you can see we don't have to kill the pyromancers again. We would have had one right there by the bonfire, and we would have had one right there that we, the one that we shot. So they stay dead. That's the good thing. The bad thing is, like I said, like the fourth pyromancer is hard to find. The fifth pyromancer is like in between a couple black knights or something. Like it gets more difficult as you go down to keep going without a divine weapon. But you could jump off right here and try to parkour your way down. That's a word I haven't heard in a while. Parkour. That was like all the rage back like 10 years ago, doing some parkour. Thought you were a ninja or something. I never got into it, but it's something I haven't heard in a while. People that was like jumping over stuff and landing on other stuff, and I don't know. Never was for me. I'd probably break my ankles. Cool, I hope this tablet starts making noise now. Just making our way back, nothing too interesting. We had to bone out because we were completely out of Estus Flasks and we're about to die, and I made a smart decision to bone out after hitting the switch. I almost didn't. I went a little bit too far, but I still did it before we died, so I'm happy with that. But it's just getting really hard because I can put down these guys, but about 6 skeletons from now you can't put them down. So it's weird how they distribute the pyromancers to me. The first one should control all the pyromancers, all the skeletons in that first building. The second one should control all the skeletons in this building. And the one we shot at the bridge should control the ones that are gonna reanimate shortly. Like, I don't get it. What he controls. Maybe all the ones out here and on the bridge and a couple inside, but That don't seem like enough to me. He definitely controls these two. So you can put these two down, and you could just make them fall if you really wanted to. Which I should have done. So I got close to falling. And that exploding skull was coming. But once you get in here, like it's very shortly, they do not stay down. And I don't get it. And there's a hole right here. Don't fall in unless you want to. Right in this dirt where it gets the darkest, there's like a trap where you can fall down, and there's a bunch of spike traps. And there's something down there that's decent, but I can't remember what it is. We go down there, but I kind of rush around. So his eyes were like pretty lit up. I think he might reanimate. And I don't think we got souls either. I'll try to get this thing. Soul of a Proud Knight. Still got hurt. I bet that skeleton's reanimating behind me. Yep, here he comes. And that's bleed on the screen. They're trying to bleed me. I had plenty of Estus. He falls down, but I don't think you die there. I think it's just further down on the stairs. So I kind of thought he died. So a couple times here I thought the skeletons died and they didn't. See, his eyes are still lit up when he's falling down. So that's another way to tell. Plus I didn't get any souls. I think that statue is a spike trap too right there, so watch out. There's the skeleton back again. So it gets hard. You just put them down, and before you can make 5 feet of progress, they reanimate and attack you again. So I could stay in between these two skeletons, killing them over and over for nothing, without making any progress, while they slowly dwindle down my health. You know, like jump me from behind, chop off a little health, make me use the Estus. The other one reanimates, jumps me from behind while I'm killing his buddy. I kill him, and the other one reanimates, and it just gets crazy. Sometimes the pyromancer runs down into this room, but we already killed him. So that's the crazy part. Like, he runs all the way into that room. Why would he not control these skeletons? I don't get it. These skeletons are right next to him, but they're still here. I fell down a little bit. Now I'm on some narrow stairs with like 5 skeletons on me. It's not looking good, guys. I tried to knock that one off. It didn't happen. I got like 4 skeletons blocking my way up, and I'm not sure exactly what's down. I didn't want to get trapped in that room. I accidentally fall, and I'm dead. But you can fall there without dying. There's a little ledge you can hit halfway down. I just didn't happen to hit it, and I wasn't trying to. But if you just walk straight off, I think, or if you like jog straight down the stairs and you just keep jogging, I think you land on the correct there's a little like ledge you can land on where you won't die, and then you can fall down again, and there's a blacksmith down there. I forget what he does. I think he does like fire buffs or something. I'm not 100% sure. He's a big skeleton blacksmith, and he like puts you out towards the bottom of the catacombs too, to where you could go fight the boss if you wanted to. But it gets really hard down there. You might die. Just running to the boss, you could die. There's a couple black knights. There's a bunch of pinwheel skeletons they can stun lock you and kill you. I'm surprised we saw our first change. I'm sure there's been other ones, but the first change I noticed between old school Dark Souls on Xbox 360 and Dark Souls Remastered on PS4 was that forest. The forest was different. The enemies didn't give as much souls. You can't power level as hard. And the assassins visible instead of invisible. And they all look a little bit more visible than they used to be. Like, it was all different. They all used to be different soul like amounts. Used to get at least 5,000 for one of them. And I think one of them gives like 7,000. And maybe even 9,000. Like, I don't think any of them gave 10,000, but I'm like almost 100% sure at least one of them gave 5,000. So we'll just make that guy jump to his death. Sucks that we just died, but we're not that far. We hit that bonfire. We opened up the bridge. We killed 3 pyromancers. Like, we're not just coming down here and dying over and over and over, which would be a good reason to not go this way. But that's not happening. We're slowly making progress. It's all good. We end up hopefully reaching our goal, and then we can decide from there, which I still don't know. I played this like 2 or 3 hours ago, and I'm now doing the commentary. And I still don't know if I want to go all the way down and do pinwheel or not. So we've seen this part like 3 times now. Not much to say other than just keep your patience. I know it's annoying to do the same stuff over and over, but that's how it used to be with video games. It was never like this back in the day. If you played Super Mario Brothers and you got 90% through a level and you died, guess what? You gotta do the whole level over again. If you got 90% through Contra or some other game and you run out of continues and lives, guess what? You gotta play the whole game over again. There's no saves. There might be a password if you're lucky and you think about it and you write it down. Maybe. Most of the time not, though. Maybe. And that would start you like 3 levels from the end if you're lucky. And then you'd still be like, dang, I gotta do like the 3 hardest levels, and it probably doesn't give you like more lives. It gives you whatever you had at that point, so you still have to have some skill. You can't just put in a password and have 50 lives and get to do the last 3 levels. That's not how it was. But it all started, it feels like, with these like Gears of War games and I don't know, all those type of games where you would die and you would just pop right up right where you died with everything you had, and there's no like, you might as well be God mode. If you're watching this, I know you don't like those type of mechanics, so I can put them down probably without anybody caring. Because in this game, if you die, you can lose your souls, and that's progress you lost. And you lose your humanity, which gives you a little bit of stats and stuff. Like, there's punishment for loot for dying. And we're redoing this part of the level like for the 3rd time. We don't just pop up where we died and get everything back. It was like that for a little bit. It's still like that these days, but I don't think it's as bad now. But it was like 5 to 10 years ago. It was horrible. Like, every game was like that, and it was just like they hold your hand to the end of the game until you beat it. But this part is just so hard because they reanimate, and I don't understand it, because the pyromancer was literally 10 feet away and he runs to a spot that's like 5 feet away, so why would he not control these skeletons? But I just want to get my souls back first and foremost. Open that door, which is in that room that I skipped by last time. That'd have been nice to get before I died. Maybe knock some of these guys into that hole, but I don't want to get trapped again on the same stairs. So we'll do it a little bit smarter this time. And hey, we got another member, by the way, so now I'm the coach of the team. And we got 5 guys, but I want to shout them out tomorrow, because I know this video is going to get less views, and I wouldn't do that to somebody, especially a member, which is like top tier subscriber. And my analytics say that 70% of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you could please do me the favor and subscribe if you're listening right now. I know some people just listen at work and they don't take the time to like click around on YouTube, but it would help me a lot if just one of you that's listening right now that's not subscribed would subscribe. Or go on your phone and subscribe, or go on your laptop and subscribe, or go on your PS4 and subscribe. Like, I'm sure you have another account. It would really help. Like, the more subscribers I get, the more YouTube recommends me to more people, gives me more views. It's like the more you get, the more you get. Like, the more money you invest in something, the more money you make. The more money you have, the more money you make. The more views you have, the more views you get. The more subscribers you have, the more subscribers you get. The more likes you have, the more visible you are.
What are you doing in the catacombs? Are you a cleric or something? No?
Make sure to answer no.
Oh, I know what it is. You've come for the trinkets, haven't you? Well, whatever it is. This place is treacherous. Do watch your step.
Yeah. Be your fault if I fall, buddy.
Well, this.
So if you answer yes there, then he definitely kills you. If you answer no, he might not kill you. I'm not sure. And you could pull that lever, but I think he just pulls it again and makes it go back. So I didn't pull it. But if you run across right here, you could die. So I didn't want to risk that right this second, because I'm looking for the Great Scythe, and I know it's nearby. And it takes me a minute to find it, but I don't think it's across that bridge. I think it's right around here. I don't really want to mess with these skeletons either. I want to stay close to that new bonfire and not die. And find this Great Scythe. I just had forgotten where it was for a second. And we'll take him out, but I think he reanimates. Take him out, but I think he reanimates. Get a little dangerous, go down here again where we died earlier. I think that's it right there. Did you see that item? That's it, but it's up high, so we gotta get to it from a different way. So I just saw it, and I just remembered that's it, so now I just gotta find it. That's the Great Scythe. I was making sure this wasn't it, and also I wanted it. I just want all the items. This is a bad room to get caught in. That's where the Pyromancer runs to, though. Does that not sound like ridiculous that those skeletons don't stay down? If that Pyromancer runs into that room, wouldn't he be controlling them? But here's the drop-off I was talking about earlier. Now I'm like thinking, crap, all those skeletons are going to follow me down here, which they did. Which I can't put them down, so now I'm like trapped between a bunch of skeletons and a bunch of traps. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss an item here, because I swear there's something else down here. Did I miss an item? That was a dangerous Estus. I guess not. I guess it's up here. I didn't see anything I missed. All those times they hit me and they couldn't even bleed me out. But a little bit safe up here, but not really, because they can climb up here. I'm not surprised there's nothing up here, but really it's I dropped down there. I don't know why I cut that cut. Very sorry, I hate that. All we did was drop down through another hole. That's all that happened, so sorry about that cut. I don't know why. I literally cut like less than a minute out. And all it was that's where you end up, is by that switch. But we're going straight for the scythe now. I remembered where it was. It's right here, right here, right here, baby. The Great Scythe. So that's what we're gonna use. Let's head back to the bonfire. And please like, share, subscribe. We're gonna play as a Pyromancer Reaper with hopefully a skull mask and a black robe and an on fire Great Scythe. It's gonna be awesome, so you want to stay tuned. Don't know if we're gonna go further in or not to the catacombs or what, but like I said, 70% of you aren't subscribed, so that watch. So please subscribe. It really helps out. If just one of you would do it, be great. But yeah, like, share, subscribe. Hopefully y'all like this, and comment down below. I want to talk to you. Peace.